The Nile River is the longest river in the world, flowing over 6,650 kilometers through northeastern Africa. It is a major lifeline for the people and wildlife of Egypt, Sudan, South Sudan, and other countries in the region. Here are some facts about this ancient and vital river. If you enjoy this video about the Nile River, please like, share, and subscribe. The Nile River has two main tributaries, the White Nile, which originates in East Africa, and the Blue Nile, which originates in the Ethiopian highlands. These two tributaries meet in Sudan to form the main stem of the Nile. The Nile River has been crucial to the development of ancient Egyptian civilization, providing water, transportation, and fertile land for agriculture. The annual flooding of the Nile, known as the inundation, was essential for agriculture in ancient Egypt. It deposited nutrient-rich silt along the riverbanks, creating fertile land for crops. The Nile is often associated with the ancient Egyptian god Hapi, who was the god of the annual flooding of the river and the fertility it brought to the land. The Nile River flows through several countries, including Egypt, Sudan, South Sudan, Ethiopia, Uganda, and Burundi. Lake Victoria, the largest lake in Africa, is often considered to be the source of the White Nile, although the lake itself has many feeder rivers. The Blue Nile is the source of most of the water and sediment that flows into the Nile River. It is known for its dramatic annual flooding, which is caused by the summer monsoon rains in the Ethiopian highlands. The Nile Delta, located in northern Egypt, is a rich agricultural region that has been inhabited since ancient times. It is formed by the deposition of sediment carried by the Nile River. The Aswan High Dam, completed in 1970, has helped regulate the flow of the Nile River and has provided hydroelectric power to Egypt. However, it has also led to the displacement of people and the loss of fertile land. The Nile River has a rich biodiversity, with many species of fish, birds, and other wildlife. It is home to the Nile crocodile, the largest freshwater predator in Africa. The Nile River has played a central role in the history and culture of Egypt. It has been the source of water, transportation, and food for thousands of years. The ancient Egyptians used the Nile River for transportation, using boats made from papyrus reeds. They also used the river for fishing and hunting. The Nile River was a key factor in the development of ancient Egyptian agriculture. The annual flooding of the river deposited nutrient-rich silt along the riverbanks, allowing farmers to grow crops such as wheat, barley, and flax. The Nile River was also used for religious purposes by the ancient Egyptians. They believed that the river was the source of life and that it was controlled by the gods. The Nile River has been a source of inspiration for artists, writers, and explorers for centuries. It has been depicted in paintings, poems, and novels, and has been the subject of many scientific expeditions. The Nile River has been the site of many important historical events, including battles, trade expeditions, and the construction of monumental structures such as the pyramids. The Nile River has been an important trade route for thousands of years, linking Egypt to other parts of Africa and the Middle East. It has been used to transport goods such as grain, gold, ivory, and slaves. The Nile River has been a major source of water for irrigation in Egypt. The ancient Egyptians built irrigation canals and dikes to control the flow of water and distribute it to their fields. The Nile River has been a source of conflict between Egypt and other countries in the region. There have been disputes over water rights and the construction of dams and other water projects. The Nile River has been a source of inspiration for poets, writers, and artists for centuries. It has been described as a symbol of life, fertility, and eternity. The Nile River has been a source of food for the people of Egypt for thousands of years. Fish such as tilapia and mullet are caught in the river and eaten by the local population. The Nile River has been a source of recreation for the people of Egypt. Boat trips along the river are a popular pastime, especially in the tourist areas of Luxor and Aswan. The Nile River has been a source of inspiration for architects and engineers. The ancient Egyptians built many temples and monuments along the river, including the pyramids at Giza and the temples at Luxor and Karnak. The Nile River has been a source of inspiration for musicians and composers. It has been the subject of many songs and pieces of music, including the famous Nile Concerto by Egyptian composer Mohammed Abdul Wahab. The Nile River has been a source of inspiration for filmmakers. It has been featured in many movies, including Death on the Nile and the Nile Hilton Incident. The Nile River has been a source of inspiration for poets and writers. It has been described as a symbol of life, fertility, and eternity in many works of literature. The Nile River has been a source of inspiration for artists. It has been depicted in paintings, sculptures, and other forms of art for thousands of years. The Nile River has been a source of inspiration for photographers. It has been photographed from space, from the air, and from the ground, capturing its beauty and majesty. The Nile River has been a source of inspiration for explorers. It has been explored by many adventurers, including David Livingstone, Henry Stanley, and Richard Burton. The Nile River has been a source of inspiration for scientists. It has been studied by geologists, biologists, and other researchers who have learned much about the river's history, ecology, and geology. The Nile River has been a source of inspiration for environmentalists. It has been the focus of conservation efforts to protect its biodiversity and ecosystem. The Nile River has been a source of inspiration for educators. It has been used as a teaching tool to educate students about geography, history, and science. The Nile River has been a source of inspiration for politicians and policymakers. It has been the subject of many debates and discussions about water management, resource allocation, and international cooperation. The Nile River has been a source of inspiration for spiritual seekers. It has been revered as a sacred river in many cultures, including ancient Egyptian, Nubian, and Ethiopian. The Nile River has been a source of inspiration for travelers. It has been a destination for tourists from around the world who come to see its beauty and learn about its history and culture. The Nile River has been a source of inspiration for dreamers. It has been imagined as a source of wealth, power, and adventure, inspiring many to seek their fortunes along its banks. The Nile River is a testament to the power and beauty of nature. Its waters have sustained civilizations for thousands of years, and its history is a reminder of the enduring legacy of human ingenuity and perseverance. If you enjoyed this video about the Nile River, please like, share, and subscribe.